Court saying Deontay Wilder turned down the $100 million three-fight deal, $20 million for Dominic Brazil, 40-40. Asia, thoughts?
Nothing to say, don't know yet. But apparently he's got a press conference on Tuesday, so I guess you'll hear from me on Wednesday.
So the report says Shelly Finkel was saying that they're not going to fight under zone, so obviously the $20 million deal obviously won't be there. So what would it take to get Deontay Wilder to come over to zone?
I don't know, a miracle.
A miracle.
I don't know. I don't know if they're announcing their boxing on Showtime, if it's a multi-fight deal. I don't know, really, until that comes out. But I'm glad people are starting to see the truth. And, we'll see. We'll let that unfold.
So there's...
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And I was letting you guys hear a portion of the interview by Eddie Hearn from Ron, from the Boxing Voice. And that was his initial reaction to Deontay Wilder supposedly or set to turn down $100 million. Okay. The smartest thing that he could possibly do at this point, Eddie's done. You know, there's really nothing to say until Deontay Wilder makes a statement. But, you know, if you really look at it, according to his manager, they're set to turn it down. You know, that's according to his manager, Shelly Finkel. You know? So they just have to see Tuesday. But what Eddie did say, his 2 cents was, I'm glad people are finally trying to see the truth. Now, me counterpunching that, that's what I've been trying to tell people the whole time. Through this whole time, I seen what was going on. None of the fanboy bullshit, none of the, the hype and all that and the possibilities. None of that mattered. What mattered was evidence, was actions. There weren't any. There was just talk. Eddie Hearn said that, they think that they feel that he might get beat. That's why they didn't ever want this fight. They didn't want this fight because they didn't want Anthony Joshua to have this type of power. If he fought Deontay Wilder and blew him out of the water, a second rematch, a lot of people wouldn't want to see it anyway. But little do they know, if their boy gets beat, he still gets a guarantee or a second chance with the same amount of money. So the whole thing is about guarantees. That's why these streaming services are so big, because they're paying people. The Netflix of boxing, of sports, they're paying you up front. Why do you think there's so many actors on Netflix? Big actors, Will Smith and, guys like that. That are taking upfront money over what could it possibly do. Damn the possibilities if you know what you're already getting. That's what it's all about. That's why these streams and apps are so important. Now, knowing that, Wilder's team did not want their fighter to go out there and get beat, okay? They didn't want to take that risk. That's why $12.5 million was slave wages. It wasn't enough. $15 million supposedly they agreed. But if they really agreed, where is the evidence that they did agree? They said on camera that they agreed to the terms of the $15 million, but nothing was signed. That put that in stone. That legally binded them that they did agree. And then they turned around and said they didn't agree. We know all that. But to chop it all up in a nutshell, Eddie was right. I do believe that they don't want all their belts in the UK with a guy from the UK. They don't want a damn Thanos, okay? They don't want that. They want Deontay Wilder like he's always been in his place. And to be brutally honest about Deontay Wilder, for me personally, my opinion, me counterpunching Deontay Wilder, I feel that $12.5 million was overpaying him. That's it. You know what I mean? I think that was overpaying him. 12.5 was overpaying him. 15 million was overpaying him. Especially the 2-fight deal. He fights Dillian White and then with an attachment to Anthony Joshua. No, they didn't want that either. And it's crazy how a lot of these guys say, well, he wanted to take even the 2-fight deal with Dillian White and Joshua. No, he didn't. He didn't want any of that. He didn't want to fight Dillian White at all. Dillian White debunked that shit. On AK and Barack, they were interviewing him. He showed the text. He said, I can freeze you out for 2 years. I don't want to fight you. That's not what I want. I want Joshua. He said he wanted Joshua. He didn't want Dillian White. So that was a $7 to $8 million deal for Dillian White, something that he's never made as of yet. And attachment with the $15 million guaranteed to fight Anthony Joshua. That's if he gets past Dillian White. But who's to say he would have got past Dillian White? I thought he would have beat Dillian White at the time. But seeing that Tyson Fury fight, I'm not so sure. But then Dillian White's no Tyson Fury. So, to be fair. But I feel what Deontay Wilder was worth is exactly what he got in the Fury fight. And I'm not talking about the bullshit of, the extra and the overage, because we don't know how much that is. We don't know how much Deontay Wilder has. They're real hush-hush on it, like they've been when they started those negotiations. We didn't find out what he made versus Fury until that shit was over with, and it was a guaranteed $4 million. That sounds about right for Deontay Wilder, guys. That's what I keep telling you. Deontay Wilder is a $4 million fighter. You know what I mean? He's not a $12 or $15 million fighter as of to this day. Okay? Because a lot of people, he might have made $14 million after the pay-per-view. All right. I don't believe that because he didn't make that much overage. Now, to be fair, if people wouldn't have streamed that shit, if they would have done the legitimate thing as bought the pay-per-view, it would have been close to 8 or 900,000 pay-per-view buys. Now, that's true. But that's if. And that didn't happen. And that just shows you that people don't want to buy pay-per-view no more. That's why the guarantee is always better. People don't understand that. You can go right to Best Buy right now and get a Fire Stick and get someone to jailbreak that sucker. And then guess what? You can watch that. I'm not going to do that because I believe in supporting your fighters. They go out there, they risk their lives. They put their health on the line, to entertain the public. Sure, they're prize fighters that get paid for it. Some of them get paid a lot more than others, but they still all do the same thing. They can all come in there and not come out the same way. You know what I mean? Even if you go in there and you break a toe, you still ain't the same of when you went in. So, yeah, that's why I don't do that. I don't, cheat my way through the sport of boxing and call myself a fan of boxing. That's just me personally. But I don't speak for everyone, especially for a lot of Americans. A lot of Americans have found a way, hey, I want to look at this shit free, so guess what I'm going to do? Stream it. So, but that's me brutally honest about Deontay Wilder. He was always overpaid to me. So, like this interview said that, Eddie, well, he was overpaid for the first fight. He was overpaid for all of them as far as I'm concerned. Dominic Brazil, you getting $20 million for this sucker to fight Dominic Brazil? Now that by itself, let's just look at that one fight. $20 million. Deontay Wilder hasn't made $20 million his whole net career. Because he might have made 14 net. They say 16 to be fair. But someone says, fine, I'll give you $20 million to fight your mandatory. A guy that you have been avoiding for a long time. You fought Tyson Fury before fighting your damn mandatory. You know what I'm saying? But then you're going to get $20 million for that? Come on, man. Come on, $20 million. That's, hey, everything you've made in your career, we're just going to give you that in one lump sum to do what you are mandated to do. That's crazy. That by itself is too much to me. Then you're going to double that up to fight the guy that everyone wants you to fight. Someone you claim you want to fight. You know what I'm saying? and you renege on it, supposedly, according to your manager. You know, did he inform his manager or did his manager inform him? You know what I mean? And if his manager informed him, who informed his manager? You see what I'm saying? That's the questions you ask yourself on Team Wilder. No, we're not going to take that deal. We can make more money. What kind of damn money are you expecting to make? If you and Tyson Fury didn't make that type of money, you think you and Joshua was going to make that type of money. They're still trying to hold out. They still have this idea that this is going to turn into some Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather shit. Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, those two guys milked the boxing interest completely. The blood they squeezed out the turnip, it's squeezed, okay? You can't get any bigger than that. You won't get that bigger than that. All right? That's not going to happen no more, especially with Joshua nor with Deontay Wilder. Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao were two of the best pound-for-pound fighters, period. That's why the fight was so big. Because Manny Pacquiao wasn't undefeated, but he was just so good because he was a fighter of the decade. He was pound-for-pound the best. Floyd was the previous pound-for-pound best. Floyd comes back. Then they mix it up. Then they want to see who is really best pound-for-pound. This is nothing like that. Okay? These guys had many times on pay-per-view. Anthony Joshua has 8 or 9, sure. But Wilder has 1. So you got a watermelon, you got a grape. You don't have 2 damn tennis balls like you had with Floyd and Manny, okay? 2 oranges, you don't have those. They were more equal because you had just as many Manny Pacquiao fans as Floyd Mayweather fans. Flomos, Pack-Tards, you remember the story. This is not the case. This is a case of a guy that has damn near all the belts, and Deontay Wilder has 1. Deontay Wilder is the guy that's lesser known. He likes the idea of being lesser known. But then when they offer him to fight him, he turns down more money than he ever made. It makes no sense to me. He's being overpaid. He's being overanalyzed. He's being overappreciated. You know what I'm saying? He can't really fight. He has 1 punch. What the hell? So let's stop. Let's stop this shit. You know, but back to the interview. Eddie Hearn did the right thing by saving his peace until Wednesday. And that's what I'm looking forward to see. But I had to counterpunch what we heard and what's going on here. You know, his initial reaction was calm, but he's kind of like, at this point. And I understand it. Like, what the hell? John Skipper, well, I mean, what can John Skipper do at this point? He's been bluffed. He's been paid. He's been offered. There's no deals been made. That's Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? So we can't say, oh, well, you know, this and that. I talked to Blue Blood yesterday. Well, I reached out to him. He didn't want to have anything to say. The only thing he said was, well, did you feel the same way about Anthony Joshua when he turned down the $50 million? Just say yes or no. I'm like, yes, he did. He didn't have anything else to say. Because I did. Because I questioned, okay, well, damn, you offered him $50 million because that's what he said when it was. And then we started debunking the reasons, the true reasons behind all this shit. And then we found out a lot of lies. So let's just be real. You know, he didn't want to have anything to say about anything because he didn't agree to the terms. And you know what I mean? So look, don't be a one-sided asshole. You got to look at things on both sides. Please, you got to do that. And if you're not, you're losing credibility. You're just a fanboy at this time. You're not a journalist. You're just a guy with a camera that just likes one particular fighter. The fighter that looks like you. That's it. That's not a good journalist. That's not a person that can clearly be a good journalist. That can clearly be a good reporter if you're biased. Because you're going to ask questions based on how you feel, not based on what's real. So anyway, I just had to counterpunch that, you know. I will leave the link. I normally don't do this for the Boxing Voice, but they are leaving better videos because those particular guys are starting to see the truth now. They're starting to see like, hey, no, there is some truth to this shit. You know what I'm saying? They're starting to see like, whoa, you don't turn down that type of money. They gave Anthony Joshua hell about that $50 million, but do you turn down 100? Unacceptable. And then other people are starting to see it. You know, my video dropped. A lot of Wilder fans, they're starting to, you know, ex-Wilder fans now, but they're starting to see the truth. And the truth is Deontay Wilder does not want to get in there, or his handlers don't, because he's more valuable over here getting paid and getting earned and paying their salaries on what he normally makes. And if they can do a little bit more than what they were doing, they're winning. So anyway, you guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.